what I'll be speaking about is I'll major on what I call some pitfalls. Okay, some pitfalls that people fall into. Let me just call it pitfalls of not engaging in premarital coaching. Okay, pitfalls of not engaging in premarital coaching. The first of them is that people end up getting married to individuals that they had no business being married to in the first place. Okay, let me say it again. People end up getting married to individuals that they had no business getting married to in the first place. Have you heard people say, oh, if I knew then what I know now, I would not have gotten married to this guy or to this lady? I'm sure you've heard people say that. I'm sure you've heard people say stuff like, the biggest regret of my life, the biggest mistake I've ever made in my life was getting married to this person. I'm sure you've heard that. It's not a pleasant thing at all. It comes from a place of pain. It comes from a place of deep regret, because people feel stuck, feel like, they've made a very terrible mistake and it's telling on them in very, very terrible ways, very painful ways. You see, whenever you hear those statements, it's really painful, really, but then if you just cast your mind back to few months or, down the line when they were getting married or before the wedding, you will discover that these were people who were most likely lovey-doveys, all romantic, had a grand proposal close to the moon, or jump from the plane and propose in the sky. You see all manner of fancy stuff and you're like, oh man, God, when will you do my own? Oh, you see, people think it's about all of those fancy things. And at some point, you notice that these same people who are saying now that they can't go ahead, or that they've gotten married to the devil, the devil's incarnate, at one point, these guys were lovey-doveys. They were all loved up. So what happened? What happened? What changed? What was responsible, for people no longer finding that love and that spark in their partners? Many times it is because they did not engage in premarital coaching. One of the things that premarital coaching does for you is that it even tells you whether or not to continue with this person you're in a relationship with for marriage. Oh, yes. So marriages have had to be not terminated because it never started. Some weddings had to be canceled ahead of time because in the process of counseling or coaching, people just saw that they were headed for the rocks. And if they had continued, it would have been the biggest mistakes of their lives. Yeah, some people see that and they advise themselves, and you know what? To take a walk. And everyone is better off for it. And it's part of the reasons I advised last week that you shouldn't wait for, few weeks to your wedding after you have told the whole world, you've publicized, you've spent monies, you've made payments for vendors and everything, don't wait for all of that to happen. And then you say, oh yeah, quick, come and tell us. They say you're a counselor, come and teach us, what should we, at that point, you're not concentrating. At that point, there's nothing you hear yourself that you're really going to take to heart. Many people just listen and say, okay. In fact, some people are listening for their partners. And hey, are you hearing? Because in their minds, what they expect is that session is about what their partners should do for them, what their partners should do to them, what their partners should take note of as their responsibilities in the marriage. They don't even pay attention to themselves. And if you've listened to me long enough, you know that I like to shine the spotlight on you. Because you're the singular factor responsible for the success or failure of your home. You first. Yes, you. Learn, grow, gain wisdom, gain knowledge, gain understanding. All right? And I tell people, when you do this, when you learn, it even reduces your chances of getting married to the wrong person. Oh, yes. It reduces your chances. When you know exactly what you're doing, one of the things that become very easy for you is to identify the people who are not fit for your life journey. You identify them very quickly and you let go of them. You understand that? But because people don't even know what you're doing, they don't know who they are, they don't know where they're going, they don't even know what exactly they're doing on earth. They just live by the day, just follow the trends, just try to be relevant, just try to be happy, just try to do what everybody does. Such people are the ones who don't even know the people that are good for them or bad for them. So they end up dating or getting into relationships just out of feelings or just out of some benefits. And at the end of the day, when they try to make that into marriage, it becomes a disaster, classical disaster, colossal one. You see? So one of the first things that you would avoid, one of the first pitfalls you will avoid is that premarital counseling will save people from getting involved in marriages that they had no business getting in. Oh, yes. Oh, yes. There are some people who have had to call off their wedding plans when they discovered that despite the love between they and their partners, it was a whole lot of complication when they began to, bring in the consideration of their family members. It was so bad that, one party just discovers that, hey, this my spouse is going to throw me under the bus where their family members are. They can't take a stand. They can't, no, this is not going to work. This is not going to work. You see, there's a lot that is revealed. It always breaks my heart when I hear people say stuff like, oh, I wish I didn't get married to this person. When you hear people insult their spouses or say such hurtful words, I just wonder, was there not a time when this person was the best thing in the world to you? What has happened now? What has changed? Many times, it was that lack of preparation. It was that lack of knowledge. It was that skill, that learning that was ignored before getting into the marriage institution, that was responsible for such regrets. Okay, so that's the first pitfall. People get married to individuals they have no business getting married to in the first place. Okay, another pitfall you'll avoid, when you do premarital coaching is the pitfall of people getting married without proper knowledge of themselves. I have one of my premarital courses called Before You Say I Do. And the first section of that course deals squarely on self-awareness, self-discovery. Who are you? Who are you? Where do you come from? Where are you going? What are your passions? What are your skills? What are your values? What do you know about yourself? You have no business getting into a relationship when you don't even know who you are. You have no business, absolutely no business dragging another person into a life of confusion, headed nowhere. No. You have no business when you don't have self-discovery. All right? Why? Because you need to know who you are. Who you are. You need to know it. Okay, and I encourage you to get that courses on my website, coachmazy.com. All right. One of the things you discover is that your self-awareness I feel like calling it the most important tool you need, but it's a very important tool, in the success of your marriage. Self-awareness, very key. It's in self-awareness that we talk about your self-concept, that we talk about your self-esteem, all right, which is a big deal. So many problems you see in relationships are self-esteem issues. A lot of them are self-esteem issues. All right, self-esteem is how you regard yourself, how you see yourself. It's not your true value, but, it's how you value yourself. So you may be truly a great person, but you have not realized that level of greatness or that extent of greatness. So you are stuck in your weaknesses, in your shortcomings, in the labels that people have placed on you. And then you begin to regard yourself according to that. That's your self-estimation. That's how far you esteem yourself. You see, and it determines a whole lot. It determines how your life plays out generally, not just in marriage, generally. People lose opportunities because their self-esteem tells them they're not good enough for it. Because that self-esteem tells them, it's not for people like you. You have not gotten to that level. Don't even try. You don't go and embarrass your family name. Better stay in one side. People lose great opportunities because of low self-esteem, because of wrong self-concept. You see, it's the same way that people get into marriage without a proper self-awareness, and then they commit all sorts of blunders and they put all the problems on their spouse. In fact, in my book, Relationship Red Flags, I actually tell people that you meet somebody who has low self-esteem, it will do you good to avoid them, because they will take all of their problems and put it on you. You will be responsible for all their problems. All right? Yeah. You will say something that you had the pure intention, no ulterior motive, they will interpret it wrong. It's not about how correct you are, it's about how incorrect they are. They will interpret it wrong. They will process it wrong. They will serve it wrong. And you'll be wondering, why are you talking like this? Where did you get all of this from? And they strongly believe it. Why? Because that's how they think about themselves. There's a way they think about themselves. Have you seen people who come around you or anywhere you see some people where everyone is smiling and happy around them and then they start feeling sad? They just start feeling irritated. Why is that one smiling like that? What is wrong with you? You see, many times it's self-esteem issues. Many times it's self-esteem. You see people laughing, you think they're laughing at me. You just think they're laughing at me. It's me they're thinking about, they're talking about me. Self-esteem. And then such a person, you get into a marital relationship, or no, you're going to stress your spouse. Okay? So it's a pitfall when people don't take premarital courses, you know, many times, you know, they lose that opportunity for proper self-discovery. So that's a challenge. And when they get into marriage without proper discovery of themselves, then it's one of the things that make people say, oh, I got married to the wrong spouse, to the wrong person. Because when you know who you are, like I said that earlier, the better sense of self-awareness you have makes it easier to identify the people who don't fit in your life's journey. Therefore, when you see the people who fit in your life's journey, it's also easier to understand, to recognize them and welcome them. Okay? So let me go on. So I talked about people not having proper knowledge about themselves. The other pitfall is people not having proper knowledge about their would-be spouse. When people focus only on the externalities, it becomes a very rude shock when they get into the marriage and begin to discover things about their spouse's behaviors, weaknesses, routines that are alien to them, that they don't like, that puts them off, that irritate them, that they cannot live with, that are, you know, at variance with their value system. They start discovering some of those things in marriage. And those are the things that lead to conflict. Those are the things that lead to misunderstanding. Those are the things that lead to those unnecessary fights. Yeah, because you missed the opportunity to know exactly what to look out for in a spouse, and then the person you were considering for marriage, you missed the opportunity to know how to even understand this person. Last week I spoke about how one of the things, or one of the areas in which people are different is in their temperaments. Most of the cases I've handled with would-be couples or even people who are already married, many of the cases are cases of the differences that show up as a result of their temperament. Oh yeah, it's just temperament issues. But because you don't know it, you think your spouse is a wicked person. You think your spouse does not love you. You know, you say things like, he was very chatty, before, while we were in the relationship, and now we're married. He always wants his space. And you don't understand that it's his temperament that's just playing out. Of course, that period before you got married, he was running after you. He was doing all he needed to do to get to you. So yes, all the cards he needed to play, he had to play all of them. But when you guys are now in the house, man, project mode is out. He's done. He has achieved what he was pursuing, and now you begin to see more about his real personality type. You begin to see how that this one is just laid back. Do I have to push him to do anything? It's just his personality. You see, and maybe yourself, you're one choleric, you're a doer, cholerics are strong doers, powerful doers. They're action-oriented, they get things done, they're work-oriented, they're the workaholics, just deliver, they don't care, no excuses, don't tell me rubbish, let's do it, let's go, cholerics, strong cholerics, powerful people. And then you're married to one phlegmatic that you have to push and doesn't want to, he's always laid back, he's slow, and you're wondering, what is all of this rubbish? Can't you just take a decision at once? I have to tell you what to do, Meanwhile, if you had taken your time to learn about each other's personality types, you may have identified some of those things and learned how to relate with them like that. So it's one challenge we see a lot from the, people whose temperaments are completely opposite. And guess what? Many times, It is those what's the word now? Many times it's those differences that attract them. All right. You see somebody who is a very quiet person and reserved and introverted person. He sees a lady who is outspoken, who is, all over the place, and he's like, whoa, I like this girl. She lights up the room. No dull moments. Oh, I just want her. I like her. And he runs after her and he marries her. Now that he's married to her, he just wants some peace and quiet. I know she's talking, she's getting him involved in the conversation. She wants him here, she wants him there. Let's do. And the guy's wondering, oh no, your wahala is too much. What's all this? But then you say, Oga, when you were tripping for her that time, you say you like her because she's all over the place. You like her because she's very sharp. She's very sharp. When she speaks like this, hear her voice. You liked all of those things. How come now you don't like those things anymore? You see, in proper coaching and marital preparation, you would learn how to understand people's temperaments and how to work with them. You would learn it. All right. So one of the pitfalls is that people get married without proper knowledge about their spouses. And then they are left with trouble, complaint, fight, because, many times, everyone wants to win the argument. Everyone believes they're right. And sometimes, yes, you are right in your own, in your own sense, rather in your, what's the word now? In your own terms, yes, you're right. And she is right in her own terms. All right. So how do you guys get to compromise? You understand? And there's this illustration that I always use, if you write the letter 6, okay, and you put it in front of you, and there's somebody standing on the other side, opposite you. To you, it is the letter 6, and that is correct, number 6. But to the person on the other side, it is number 9. So when you are asked, what number is this? What do you see? You're going to say 6. When you ask the person on the other side, what number is this? What do you see? The person is going to tell you it's 9. The question now is who is correct and who is wrong? No one is wrong. Both of you are correct. But you see, your perspectives are different. So in your own rights, you are right. In your own perspective, you are right. But your rightness doesn't make your partner wrong sometimes. You see, so you need to learn how to see things from the same perspective. You are saying it's a 6, your partner says it's a 9. Okay, so somebody has to learn how to shift over to the other person's point of view. And then you say, now I see why you said it was a 6. Or now I see why you said it was a 9. Anyway, but from this other side, it was the other one. So if it's a 9 now, from the other side, it is a 6. You see, with that kind of understanding, that quarrel is ended already. But guess what? When people are not taught these things, how to recognize it, they just go about shouting. I say it is a 6. That one says it is a 9. That one says you are so blind. That one says you are so stupid. You cannot even see properly. Or you are just stubborn. What is wrong with you? It is clear. It is visible to the blind. And you are just there arguing unnecessarily. And then before you know, one big fight breaks out. But guess what? Both of them may have been right. But they were seeing it from different perspectives. And they didn't learn how to compromise, how to learn to see it from the other person's viewpoint, how to understand why this person sees it like that and why the other person sees it like that. You see, so that's what happens when you learn about how your spouse behaves, how your partner behaves. All right. It helps a great deal. Okay. Many times, what people just call misunderstanding is that lack of knowledge of your partner's temperament. Okay, so let me see the next pitfall. Oh yeah, people get into marriage without an understanding of what marriage is. Marriage is not the place to make you happy. Marriage is work. Marriage is the place where you get to serve. You see, but when you learn to serve and your partner learns to serve, then you can find happiness. But if you just think, marriage is going to make me happy, it's going to take away all my dull moments, no more dulling days, no more boring moments. Okay, welcome. What you will meet is work. Oh yes, what you will meet is work. You see, people get married before they begin to understand that some of those feelings, those butterflies that used to jump up and down in their tummies while they were in the relationship, okay, when they get into marriage sometimes, they start looking for the butterflies. Some of them have run away or they have died of hunger. Because those feelings are not what sustain marriage. Marriage is about intentionality. Marriage is about deliberateness. Marriage is about being willing to be sacrificial. That is what true love really is. Being able to be sacrificial, to put your partner first, to honor them above yourself. All right? A lot of people don't know this. And they get into marriage with all manner of ideas, wrong concepts, and they just expect that in this marriage is what their partner is going to do for them. Some men are so patriarchal and all they just want is that now I've married you, you are now you're an item in my house, you are a slave in my house, you are a tool, you are my staff, you have to, and they're referring to their wives. Can you imagine that? And then they begin to treat her, just anyhow. After all, she's my wife. I am the man here. That is so wrong. Yes, it used to happen those days, but common knowledge has improved now. There's a lot of awareness now. Do you understand? That was not God's design at all. At all. That was not God's design. You see, so people need to get back to really knowing what marriage is all about. The one who created marriage, what did he have in mind? It's unfortunate that there are so many concepts and so many ideas about marriage all over the world today. But like I'd like to tell people, you see, marriage is not the function of any civilization or any government no. Marriage is an institution that was created by God. Marriage was founded by God himself, not any human being, not any government, not any society. All right. So if you want to know the truth about marriage, you want to find out from the one who created it. Okay. So what does he say about it? And then you begin to dig into scriptures where it is documented and you will find the thoughts of God about marriage. So people get into it with the completely wrong notion, concept, beliefs that were picked up on the streets, beliefs that were picked up from movies, picked up from novels, picked up from their parents' failed marriages, picked up from failed relationships everywhere, picked up from their selfish ideas, and then they get into marriage expecting to play out all of those scripts. And then you wonder why there are failed marriages everywhere. Getting into a proper premarital course will help you know what marriage really is. And it will help you to know whether or not you are prepared for it. You hear people, there's this saying that a broken engagement is far better than a broken marriage. And that is the truth. Okay, it is better that with knowledge, you decide to stop that thing before you guys get married. All right. Yes, it can be painful, I know, but you can choose to stop it before you get there, than get in there and experience hell on earth. And then you join those who start spreading false narrative about marriage and you begin to scatter and destroy the institution of marriage. Marriage is scam. Love is a scam. All men are scam. Women are scam. And you just start scamming everything and spoiling everything because you did not learn properly. So I hope somebody understands how important this thing is. Okay, and it's in these premarital classes that you are taking through all of these things step by step. It's very important. I cannot overemphasize this. And then let me just deviate a bit. Sometimes people hear, besides the ones that churches do, which may be free, I don't know. But, for some of us who are practitioners in this space, we actually have products and we have fees, that we charge for some of those things. And people are like, is it not too expensive? It's too expensive. I am wondering, what is expensive there? Knowledge, wisdom, expensive. They say, if you think education is too expensive, then try ignorance. All right. And I remember speaking with someone one day and I told them, this is expensive compared to what? If you compare the cost of that training to every expense you're going to have on your wedding day, most times it will not even be up to any of them. These days, even photography is in hundreds of thousands. Videography is in hundreds of thousands. Pre-wedding shoots is in hundreds of thousands or tens of thousands. You see, I'm trying to talk about some of the things that should even be the lowest price. Is it food? Is it refreshment you want to talk about? Is it the clothes you're going to put on your wedding day you're talking about? Is it the reception hall? Do you understand? Is it the logistics? Is it all the travels? Is it all the, do you understand? There's a lot. And yet you're told to just commit just a tiny percentage to learning. And people say, no, it's too much. Or is it when you get into marriage and then you start experiencing all the hurts, all the pitfalls? Would you compare that to that meager fee that you were told to pay? Or is it when, if things don't work out, people have to file for divorce and have to pay for the services of a lawyer? The money you're paying is even far more than what it would have cost you to learn about marriage and keep your home successfully. Okay, so that was a little deviation, but it was very important to emphasize it. People need to take time to learn about marriage. You need to. And like I say, from the moment you start becoming self-aware, start learning about marriage. Even if you're a teenager, start learning about it. I didn't say you should go start pursuing man or start pursuing woman for marriage. Just start learning about the concept of marriage. Start creating pictures of what your marriage is going to look like. All right. The earlier you start, the more grounded you will be. And then all things being equal, it will be easier for you to identify those who don't fit and those who fit in your journey. All right. Let me touch the next point and see if I can be a bit faster, so I can just finish these within the time I have. Of course, another pitfall is conflicts, avoidable conflicts that people experience in their marriage. Avoidable conflicts. Okay, some people don't know the difference between misunderstanding and conflict. There's a difference. Okay, so long as both of you are two different people, there are many ways that you would see things differently. There are many things you're not going to agree on. And I'm not talking about very deep, heavy things. No, very little things. Little things like how you boil rice. Little things like how you wash the plates. Little things like how you make the bed. Little things like how you press the toothpaste, in the tube. Little things like how you wear your slippers in the parlor or on the rug or into the room. Little things. So that's what I'm not talking about things that shape the world, that change nations. No. These are the little things. It is the little things. It is the little things. Things like how I said something and you laughed about it when I expected you to take it seriously. And I said, yeah, I was serious, but it just sounded funny. That's why I laughed. No. Why were you laughing? You're laughing because you're making jest. No, but that's how I relate. That's how I relate to things. Little things. So like the term goes, misunderstanding. It's just something that should have been understood. That was not understood. That was missed. So understanding was lost. All right. Yeah, that's why it's called misunderstanding. You see, but misunderstanding is just an opportunity for both of you to learn and align. Misunderstanding, let me say it again, is just an opportunity for both of you to learn and align so that understanding that was missed can now be found. And then there will be understanding. You see, but when no one wants to compromise their position, where both parties think I am right and I am absolutely right and you are wrong and you need to accept that you are wrong and I am right, how are you guys not going to degenerate from that misunderstanding into conflict? So most times conflict happens when there is a persistent disagreement over time. Not just a one-off thing. If it's a one-off thing, no, it's not yet conflict. But it becomes conflict when it's over time. You're not forgiving, you're not letting go, you're maintaining your position, the other person maintaining their position, and then before you know, emotions begin to rise, and then before you know it, you begin to say hurtful things at each other. Have you seen where people got into a physical fight from just a conversation? Of course. Because at some point, all right, where none of them is willing to give in or to play the fool or to be the loser per se, for the other person to take the shine, okay? So they keep holding their grounds, and before you know, they start using, insulting words on each other, and then it gets to a point where somebody cannot take it no more. Somebody perhaps is not able to match the other person's verbal prowess, and then you have to show it in the way that you have your own strength. Okay? And many times that's how people get into physical fights. Are you talking to me? Who are you calling a fool? Am I your mate? Something wrong with you. If you say that thing again, I'll break it. Yeah, big fool. Ah, you're talking to me, big fool. Oh yeah, before you know, slap, blow, wahala. Fight everywhere. But guess what? That misunderstanding did not have to degenerate into conflict. Okay, conflict is something that must be studied. In fact, it's one of the questions I ask people before they get married. I say, how do you intend to handle conflicts? What's your concept of conflict resolution? What's your concept of conflict management? There are people whose concept is that you must tell me you are sorry. You must accept that you are wrong. And trust me, those people are going to have problems in their relationship. If not, then it's going to be an abusive relationship. Because trust me, if your partner all the time just has to admit to be wrong just so that you are fine, then it's a manipulative relationship. It's an abusive one. It's an emotionally abusive relationship. You say, we're always at peace, so we're always at peace, we don't quarrel. Meanwhile, you're at peace simply because your partner is always taking the fall. Always taking the fall. Always taking the fall, just so that there will not be problem. And you say we're at peace. No, you're not at peace. You're not at peace. It's fake peace. Because what will happen one day is that person might not be able to swallow it anymore, and then there'll be an outburst. It will be like a volcano. A lot of things will erupt. And when that happens many times, you won't believe it. Because by the time that happens, they're prepared for the worst. All right? So you hear in some cases where ladies have been, so subjugated, and they're taking it for years. And then one day, they just wake up and tell you, it's over, it's not happening again. And sometimes you hear that, this woman stabbed her husband. Or you hear that, this woman has left her husband after so many years. And she just tells you, I was managing all this while because I probably wanted to just train the kids. I wanted them to get into school, get into university. But now that has happened, enough of you and your mess. And they just bounce out. And I wonder, but I thought she was a very gentle woman. I thought she was very, very understanding. No. She had been suppressed too bad. And then eventually there was an eruption. You see, so one of those pitfalls of not going through premarital coaching is that people experience avoidable conflict. Avoidable. You know the funny part about this thing? You see people who tell you that they truly love themselves until they get into a fight. And they fight each other. And then you're wondering, but I thought you guys said you loved yourselves now. I mean, why are you fighting like this if you're in love? And then after the fight, they will not make up. They will not remind themselves how I really love you, everything in my life, until the next fight. Because they haven't learned how to manage conflicts. Okay, this is not where I'll get into the management of conflict. I'll have a full session for conflict management and resolution. All right, a full session, or better still, you can find that in my course, Marital Bliss is Possible. There's a whole module devoted to conflict management there. All right. Find it on my website, by the way, coachmacy.com. All right, so next pitfall. Whoa. How many can I even take? Maybe I should just stop at some point. Oh, let me talk about this one. Another pitfall is people not being able to properly manage their finances in marriage. Hello, Annie. Thank you for joining. Good to see you. We have said a lot, so I hope that you would watch this replay because we're about to end the session. But I'm glad that you joined us. I'm glad that you were able to come in. Okay. So please do well to watch the replay. Okay, we've said a lot. I've shared about 5 points or so, and I'm about to wrap it up. Okay, so I was saying that one of the pitfalls, okay, what we're talking about, by the way, is pitfalls of not going through premarital counseling or coaching. Okay, so I've spoken about 5 points already. I'm talking about the 6th now. And I said people struggle with financial management. Yeah, Michelle, it's great to see you. Okay, so I think somehow this session doesn't, or rather, I don't know, something about the way this doesn't even tell me the true number of people who are online. I'm glad I'm seeing more people here. I just thought it was the only ones that were showing up there. Okay, so good. Financial management. This is big deal. This is big deal. This is big deal. This is big deal. I mean, how many times have I said it? I can keep saying it. In fact, I can just say it from now to the end of this is a lot of big deal. Why? Because money is a spirit. You know, money is the only thing in scripture that was used to contest with God. All right? Where scripture says you cannot follow God and mammon. It didn't talk about any other thing. Mammon is the god of money. All right? It didn't talk about any other thing. Money is that spiritual. Is that deep. People say they love themselves until you say, okay, let's talk about money. And people who have not learned selflessness, people who have not learned emotional maturity, people who have not learned what it really means to be sacrificial, they tell you that they love you. They will give you their body, but their money, no. Don't go there. So you see people who are married, and what causes the most problem is financial management. Or let me just put it as money. Because sometimes the lack of the money is problem. Sometimes the availability of the money is problem. Okay, now the money is available. How should we use it is problem. One person, believes that it is their say or the highway. Another person is a terrible spender. Spend your future, spend everything that you just want to be happy now. And the other partner is saying, hey, what about the future? What about the children? What about the rent? What about our projects? What about this? And the other one just says, enjoy yourself now. Or what about the school of thought who say, among the ladies who say that his money is our money and my money is my money alone. You see, that is a very misleading school of thought. It is not scriptural. So if you're a believer, please do not believe and don't practice that. Okay. Now, while it is important for the man to understand that, yes, the responsibility for the home is on you, okay, as the leader of the home, which was put by God, by the way, again, not by any culture, not by any society, but by scriptures. All right. God showed us templates in scripture. All right. So, yes, the man has responsibility in the home, okay, but it does not mean that that the woman cannot contribute. If both of you are one, then why are you holding back your finances? You see, if the man is so blessed that he's able to cater for everything and give the woman her fantasy life without her spending it, then awesome, that is powerful, awesome, that is, in fact, that is recommended, that is beautiful. But if that might just be in the movies. That might not be the ideal situation. All right. So before the man gets to that point where he can sponsor your fantasies and bring them to reality, okay, both of you have to do the grind. You have to get through the grind together. Okay. So it's not your money just for you while his money is for everybody. No, it's our money. We bring our monies together. We have a collective vision, okay, and we use our resources to finance that vision. It's our vision. It's our home. All right? And then you hear people say things like, my own, referring to properties in the house. After all, I'm the one that bought these chairs, so they are my chairs. If you annoy me, I will go, and I will go with my chairs. I will go with my car. I will go with my television. In a marriage, you don't understand it. You don't own anything yourself. You guys own everything together. Oh, yes. Or is it the schools of thought that tell you, as a woman in your marriage, you must have your plan B, so you should be saving money in case things spoil so that you can get out and you're not stranded? Rubbish wisdom of the world. Rubbish. It's foolishness, actually. How can you from the beginning be planning for it to fail? Then it will fail. And when it fails, don't blame anybody, because you so believed it was going to fail that you prepared for it and you walked towards it and you called it forth every time you were setting aside money in case it fails. Listen, you can set aside money in your personal savings, but not in case it fails. All right? You're setting it aside so that you can do other things that will make your home beautiful, so that you can surprise your spouse, so that you can surprise your husband, so that you can buy him a car on his 50th birthday, so that you can do investments. Proverbs 31 talks about the virtuous woman. And one of the things it says is how that she's a very industrious person. She's hardworking with her hands. She knows how to sell things. She knows how to import things. She knows how to package things for export. She's an industrious woman. All of this for the home. not for yourself, not in case the marriage does not work, so that you will thank God, thank God that everyone was hiding this money. No, all those are wrong concepts. Time will fail me to dig into all of the erroneous concepts people have about money. Or is it the ones who tell the men that your wife must never know what you are earning? Don't tell her, if you're earning 200,000, tell her it's 100, because that 100, she will just take it from you. She will just spend it on your behalf. Yes, women by nature tend to be, more, they have by nature the gift of home administration. Okay, so typically when she knows how much is available, in her mind she has already planned out everything: the curtains, the kitchen, the gas, the light bill. She has planned it out. Okay, that is what many men fear sometimes, because once you tell her, there's this money, she tells you, let us do this, let us do that. I want you, is it because I told you? Me, I wanted to use it for this, or me, I wanted to use it for that. You see, there's this example I keep giving sometimes. In many cases, when the gas in the cylinder is finished, and let's say this is a bachelor, many times when his gas finishes, he doesn't replace it immediately. Perhaps days or even weeks before one day, finally, he would remember to fill the gas. Why? Because that moment, he only remembers when he's about to cook, and it didn't come up. Oh my God, this gas is finished. I'll fill it tomorrow. Tomorrow he will not remember, he will go out. When he comes back from work, he wants to do something. There's no gas. I forgot. Okay, I'll do it tomorrow. Many times that's the guy. But you see a woman, that gas will not finish. She will buy the other one and keep. Why? Because by instinct, by nature, they want that security. They don't want to be stranded. So they are thinking about things you're not thinking about. They are seeing those things. They are thinking about it. So men should be glad to allow their wives into their finances. They will help you make better decisions, so long as you marry the wife or not a knife. Because some people, their own is just chop, kill, and destroy. Those ones are devil's children. I don't know where you got them from. Do you understand? The ones who all they want is what you can buy for me, spend it on me. They're not even thinking about family. They're not even thinking about the children. All they're thinking of is enjoyment, the latest devices, the best baby girl life. Come on. That's not a wife material. That's a knife. Okay? So I'm talking about wives, okay? Wife materials. All right? So typically, when you have a good woman, you don't hide your finances from her. You don't hide your business decisions from her. That is another thing where many guys get it wrong. Don't tell her about business. She will be too emotional. She'll be too emotional. Is that emotionality or emotionalism that will save you from making mistakes? Because she will tell you, I don't even know why, but I'm not even feeling this business. Don't do it. You say, that's what I've been explaining to you. Let me tell you, Mr. A did it worked. Mr. XY did it worked. Why is it you? You are just always afraid. You will carry the money and go and put it to that. It will crash. It will fail. Then you will now be afraid to let her know that you went ahead to do it when she did not okay it, and then eventually it crashed, and then now there's problem because you took the house rent to go and invest in that business and she told you don't do it. You see, so there's a lot we have to discuss about financial management. Time will fail me, to expound on this. There's a lot to discuss in it. Is it about budgeting, how to plan your expenses? All right. Not buying things on impulse, being disciplined and true to the budget, learning how to come up with creative ways to reduce costs and increase revenue, learning how to come up with alternatives. There is a lot to learn under money management. It's a whole world of information. All right. I'm sorry I won't be able to take any more points. Let me just stop here because of the time. All right. But all of these are pitfalls you will be delivered from by going for premarital counseling, premarital coaching. They will delve into all of these points and you will see things you have never seen before. Like I tell people, marriage is the true test of your maturity. It's the true test of your wisdom. It's the true test of your knowledge. It's the true test of your understanding. You say, I'm a very cool guy. I'm very easygoing. I don't have problem. Don't worry. Marriage will test how cool you are and how cool you can be. All right. You say, I make smart decisions. You say, I don't get angry easily. Wait and get married. Okay. And God help you. Your spouse is that type that looks like they have been packaged to come and deal with you. You will learn righteousness by the things you suffer. Okay, now I'm not saying that it's always like that. That's what happens when people get in without proper preparation. Okay, but when you go through the ropes, when you go through proper learning, when you're building capacity, like those of you who are always in my sessions and listening to all of these things I'm saying, you're building capacity. When there is a demand by life on those things you have learned, you will find yourself making the right decisions. You'll find yourself being able to scale through. You'll find yourself not being put under, but you learn how to get over that situation and you use it as a stepping stone to achieve your dreams. That is what knowledge does. Knowledge empowers you. Knowledge helps you become a better person. That's what knowledge does to you. All right, so I'll stop here because it's already almost my time. Okay, but I hope that this has been very good for you guys. I hope that you know, you've picked a lot from this. Next week I'll speak about conversations that you guys can have, you know, while in the relationship stage. For those who don't know what to be discussing, all right, I'm going to share some things that you should just have in your heart as templates. Okay, your conversations must cover all of these areas before you are even making a decision to say, okay, I'm going ahead with this person. All right, very, very important stuff. Okay, now, if you don't yet follow us here on this Facebook page, please do well to follow us. I'm going to be doing these sessions here now. Okay. Oh, thank you for the feedback, Sonia. All right, I'm gonna be having these sessions here on Facebook. With time, I'm going to stream it across multiple platforms. Do you understand? But for certain reasons, some people preferred Facebook better, and we listened to that feedback and decided to migrate to this place. Okay, so I'll encourage you, spread the word, help us spread the word. Okay, those of you who have been listening to me for a while, who I can call ambassadors, all right, please do well to spread the word. Tell your friends, guys, girls alike, you know, tell them, there's this guy I listen to every Wednesday, you know, and I mean, the ones they missed, they can go back and watch it either on our YouTube page, on our Instagram handle, and then now it will be on the Facebook page here. All right, so invite other people, let them come in, let them see what we're doing, you know, let them learn. Okay, I have courses that are paid for. I have a mentorship hub. I hardly talk about it. I wonder why, but I mean, it just gives you certain other privileges that, you know, people wouldn't typically get. So you want to learn about that, check my website. You find all of these details there, or check my Instagram handle. There's a link tree there. You find all of these details there also. Okay, and I have books, I have resources. So the thing is, just try and check us out. All right, there's a lot that you can get, both free and paid for. Okay, but all of this is to make you a better person and to position you better for a beautiful relationship and blissful marriage. All right, am I forgetting any other announcements? No. Now, sometimes you might just find me host an Instagram live, maybe by 12 a.m., maybe by 1 a.m., maybe on Friday or Saturday. I'm going to be doing some random live sessions where I'll just talk to people. Okay, so if you find it any of those times and it's your chance, you can jump in on it, and I mean, let's just share value. Okay, it's one of the things that has been in my heart for a bit, and I'll be starting it out later this month. Random hours, because I know people don't even really sleep. And then, I mean, your night here is somebody's afternoon, is somebody's morning. Do you understand? So random hours, I will just go live on, that might be Instagram live so that people can get the notifications, and I will just have some sessions, but that will be on my Coach Maisie handle, not on the Single and Ready Club handle. Okay, so if you find it, if you don't follow me there, please rush there and follow me also, and then so that you can just enjoy all of the things that we're putting out. God bless you guys. Thank you for the time. Thank you for the feedback. Please share the word, comment, share this session, share the video, let other people be blessed. All right, see you again next week on your favorite podcast. Is this a podcast? I don't know. Show, broadcast, whatever you call it. All right. Love Code with Maisie. God bless you guys. Have a wonderful rest of the day and the week. Bye for now.